I'm Jeff Brown, and I teach a relationships class in high school. I wanted to start this series to talk a little bit about power.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
Itty bitty living space.
Not necessarily that kind of power, but power in relationships. It's important in relationships to know where your power comes from, where the other people's power comes from, and what power is operating in your relationships here. There's a couple things to know about power in relationships. I learned a few of these things from John Gottman's book on raising an emotionally intelligent child and Denny McLaughlin's workshops on high trust psychology. But the big thing to remember is there's a dark side.
I threw up a little bit on the third floor. Someone might want to clean that up.
Is there some sort of evil janitor or something?
And there is a light side, much like the Force.
Your robots are no match for a master builder, for I see everything. My eyes.
If we're trying to get them to fear us so that they do what we want, or to please us and so that we only show love to them if they please us, then that is all under control or coercion. We also may use manipulation as a way to get that to happen by making them feel guilty unless they do certain things that we want them to, or other kinds of manipulation.
That's because he's not officially an employee. He's unpaid.
You don't pay him?
He gets college credit.
Are you sure you're not evil?
Now, on the influence side of things, or the light side of the Force, then there's the power comes from an emotional bond where people trust each other, where they trust each other, where you can influence each other and you want to help each other out. And that's where that power comes from.
I just have so much love inside.
Now, the thing that's interesting about these two sides is that the dark side starts out easier. It's easier because it's easier to make people do things if you make them fear you, or if you do these kind of things.
Is the dark side stronger?
No. But busier, more seductive.
Problem with this is that your power starts to lessen over time as people start to move further and further away from
The
you.
more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your
That trust starts to erode. They don't want to be around you. The feelings that they have around you are unpleasant, so they start to push away from you. And they start to not want to be around you anymore. So in order for the light side to be operational and to gain power in it, it takes time and patience. You need time for that emotional bond to build, for that trust to build, so that you start to have that influence with one another. Most of us, like Anakin here, the Lego Anakin, want to be on the light side of the Force over here. Whenever we tend to be unhappy or stressed or anxious, then we tend to fall more towards the dark side over here.
Beware of the dark side. Anger, fear, aggression. The dark side of the Force are they. Easily they flow.
Oftentimes we try and straddle both sides of the line here.
Oh, you're such a great Padre.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to give you a big old hug.
Thought you were attacking me.
The problem is it takes less time for us to tear down trust than it does take to build it up. So if we're straddling the line and we go back and forth all the time, our influence grows less and less, and we fall more towards control and coercion because that's the only thing that seems to be working. In a sense, Yoda was right.
If once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny. Consume you it will.
Because it takes so much less time for trust to be torn down than to build up, we have to make sure that we have a lot more time over on the influence side than on the control side. In fact, one researcher said that in order for there to be positive trust building, that what you're going to need to have is 5 times the amount of positive for every one thing over on the negative in order for the trust to continue building. Now, the more you stay on this side, the more your power grows, and you become more and more powerful at being able to help people because you're not trying to control them. You're trying to teach and lift and help people.
Emmett, you didn't let me finish earlier because I died. The reason I made it the prophecy was because I knew that whoever found the piece could become the special. Because the only thing anyone needs to be special is to believe that you can be. I know that sounds like a cat poster, but it's true.
So the more that we stay on the influencer side and the less time we stay on the controller side, the more our power grows and builds on the light side until we become ultra powerful.
He's too awesome!
And attractive.
How can we repay you?
There is no charge for awesomeness or attractiveness.
So it's time to work more and more on becoming more powerful with influence and try and learn about the downsides of control.
You happy now?
I'm never happy.
In my next few videos, I'm going to be talking about the different parts of all of these things, including more in depth into the control side of things as to the downsides of that. Plus, I'm going to be talking more about the power that goes on to trust also.
You must listen. What I'm about to tell you will change the course of history.